think that we've all had enough. Keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Hello, and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. It's your boy here, GT45 Gaming, and we're going to bring you some live racing action this afternoon. So, the plan is Gran Turismo Racing Community. The race, GT4 Championship, Round 10. The chase to the championship starts this weekend. So, with 3 rounds remaining, including the round at hand, it's all on the line now as the drivers chase down their chances at podium finishes and championship wins here this season. So it's been an interesting season so far. We got some new faces on the track here this week, along with some, of course, of our full-time drivers here today as well. So it should be a pretty good race here today. We're in Austria. We're at Red Bull Ring here today, and should be interesting. So on the screen in front of you, ladies and gentlemen, is Red Bull Ring in Austria here. Pretty medium-sized to small-sized racetrack. It's comprised of a 2.9-mile racetrack, 4.3 kilometers, has 10 left and right-hand turns. It is a tarmac road surface. It is a real-world circuit and has an elevation change of 214 feet. So just a simple little track. Simple being a kind of a, I guess, not exactly the best word maybe to be using there, as it's not that simple, but it's a technical little high-speed to mid-speed racetrack. There's some S-turns, and there's some left and right-hand undulating uphill, downhill sections in the racetrack, so it does provide for a little bit of thought processing as you're going around the racetrack. So it should be pretty interesting to see how everything works out here today. But you know, it's the same old here from the GTRC. Let's go take a look. Let's break it down for you. Let's just get through some event settings here. Let's go through our tire wears and all that great stuff. Again, it is a 1-hour endurance race, as it always is, like it is every weekend here at the GTRC, and it is late morning here in Austria, so you know, should see some nice weather conditions. Hopefully, there is always a risk for rain at this racetrack, however, and with the random weather model, anything really is possible. It is a false start on the start line, so the drivers cannot even roll that car a millimeter until those green flags drop. If they do, they'll be penalized immediately on the track and be given a time start penalty, which will definitely hurt the beginning of their races. Qualifying, of course, will be probably 7 laps here around the racetrack today, so that'll be an out lap and 6 hot laps. You'll see the drivers park at the end of turn 1. At the end of that time, they'll have a 2-minute window, I believe it is, and then we'll start the race. So we'll be fastest to line up first on the grid, all the way down to the bottom of the field, being the slowest in qualifying. It is a BOP no tuning series, which means balance of performance, so all the cars are designed and set to be equal around the racetrack. Of course, they have their advantages and disadvantages depending on the car or the manufacturer it is you're driving. Slipstream is real, mechanical damage is light, track edge is real, tire wear is 3 times, the fuel consumption is 4 times. Now, I can definitely verify that tires aren't going to be nowhere near as much of an issue here today as the fuel is going to be. So with that being said, that brings up the old chat, the old strategy. What could happen here in the race today? Well, it's the age-old story in these hour-long endurance races. We see it almost in every league, no matter who we're broadcasting for. It's going to be the one-stop versus the two two-stop strategy here today. So after some extensive testing and some running around with some of the drivers here this week for myself, just so I can get back in the loop of what to expect for our drivers here today, time-wise, not a whole lot difference between the one-stop and the two-stop race. I mean, matter of a handful of seconds at most. So it's going to come down to pace management and tire management at the fuel management at the end of the day here today. The two-stop will give you a couple of things. It'll give you fresher tires for the whole duration of the race, which should allow you to push a little bit harder. And of course, you don't have to be so conservative on how much fuel you're using. But the one stop, you do have to, however, be a little conservative on your fuel, but you have to still maintain a relatively competitive pace. And by doing that, then the one stop should essentially be faster if you go mistake free. And the key to a one stop race in any situation is, of course, very minimal mistakes. And if you could do that, that eliminates an extra pit stop. The pit stop here for tires and fuel on a two stop strategy is roughly about 45 seconds, where a pit stop for a full tank of fuel and tires in a one stop strategy is about a minute. So you're up about 15 seconds if you can have the perfect race on a one stop strategy. So in reality and in theory, the one-stop should essentially be better, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be the case here today. Alright, so let's flip you over to the track here. This one? Yeah, that's the one. Take a look at some of the drivers as they're just running in some final practice. Qualifying will start in about 6 minutes time here. So while we're doing that, let's bring up our standings here. We're going to start with our pro division. So we have both divisions in the lobby here today, as in summertime the drivers are dwindling. So we've had to stack the two lobbies together. So we do have pro and pro-am class drivers in the lobby here today. They are racing their own divisional races, but they are also racing an overall race. So in a sense, we can almost call this multi-class racing. So in our pro side here in the GTRC this season, it is Pigham's leading the way here with 138 points in the Supra. Apex Jakey is chasing him with 98. Bufu Shadar, who's no longer in the series, still holding pretty strong in third place there. CRF there with 76 points. Hairraiser with 70. We have Miss Devious climbing her way up there with 68 points. Doug Barrows with 61. Roses with 55. Petro with 55. And Penelope's no longer in the series either, sitting there in top 10. So we keep the drivers on the standings because they did compete in the series, and that is the way it is. I mean, Bufu Shadar is still in a podium position here, and he hasn't raced for the majority of the season. So, yeah, a little interesting there. All right, so we head over to our Pro-Am class here. In our Pro-Am division is much of the same thing. The top driver is quite a ways ahead of everybody else, so it is Bo Snipe in the lead with 139 points. Trone sitting there in second place, of course, Trone Kobe, that is, with 99 points. We have Type R there with 93. We've got BR Tap there with 92. We've got Bar with 84 points. And then we've got a tie between Pappy and Jackson with 83 points. 63 points. And then there's Tagger with 57 points. Throne, Unseen Throne for Team Ferrari there with 52 points. Your boy Bandit with 41. Formula One with 38. Magic Man with 37. Sarah with 34. And, yeah. Depends on which driver makes the grid. Depends on which driver gets to the point standings here today. But both Snipe and Pigham's really in good shape. And boy, we've got rain in qualifying here today. So it did not consider rain to be necessarily a factor here, but it is raining in the practice sessions. So there we have it. The possibility of rain is real in this race today, and that could really change things up here in the race. That's going to mess up strategies. That's going to, as you can see here with Ash Motorsport, the rain on those racing slicks just causing him all kinds of grief right now, and he can't even get into pit lane to change those tires out. We got Happy Pappy here in second place. Now, how many of these drivers are prepared for rain conditions? Going to be hard to say. So hopefully them drivers have those wet tires ready today, because it looks like potential for rain is real. So we have a fuller grid than what we see on the track currently. Some of the drivers haven't brought the cars out of the garage yet. They just got them tucked in, keeping them dry and warm until race time. Fastest lap on the racetrack here in practice is Pigham's here with a 36.699. So on the standings, it does says Apex Pigham's there. It is now actually officially RR Pigham's, as well, he has now signed with Rockefeller Racing. So welcome to Rockefeller Racing from Pigham's, and we'll be seeing a new look from this driver here today on the racetrack as well. So yeah, yeah, a little interesting. We love to see the drivers jumping into teams and getting involved in the community, so that seems to be exactly what sim racing is kind of coming to. When I started sim racing a couple of years ago, full time again, really getting back into it, it seemed like that was more of a perk to be a part of a sim racing team, you know, to be, in that part of the sim racing world. Now it seems like it's something that everybody wants to be a part of now, with it growing so quickly in the esports world and of course the virtual gaming world as well. So, ooh, a little leg spike right there. Somebody jumps on the track. So again, that's just game issues. Nothing we can do about that. Everybody just has to deal with it. But yeah, you can see wet conditions out there now. We got some, I believe, the wet tires on this Acura right now, and on the bottom left-hand side of the tires there, right beside the tires on the screen, you can see a little meter there. So when that meter goes past the first line, that means you should have some intermediate racing tires on. And when it goes past the second line, that's when it's recommended to have these heavy wet tires on. So right now he's kind of just on the cusp of being in these optimal conditions for those wet tires. So tire selection when it's raining on the racetrack is also very crucial. So it's going to be interesting to see. I don't know what to expect in this race now, and all my testing and driving, rain didn't factor in at all. So, very interesting. Now, these mid-rear engine cars usually do pretty well in raining conditions. So cars like this NSX, a car like the Cayman Porsche that we have on track, a McLaren, what else is there that's available to use in the series? There's another one, I just can't, the Alpha 4C. There's a couple other mid-rear engine cars in the class here. These cars would actually be expected to do quite well under the raining conditions. They're just better balanced for wet driving. The front engine rear wheel drive cars like your Toyota Supras, your Corvettes, your Toyota GR86, what else do we got out there? You know, the Silvias, pretty much the majority of the Group 4 class, really, essentially the Mercedes, the BMWs. They torque in the rear wheels. It kind of messes with the way the car is driving in the rain, and due to the engine not really being in the center of the car, the weight balance is different. So the stability of the race cars really do change typically in the rain after wet conditions get into play. So the MR cars you would expect to start to see excel under raining conditions. So what we're going to expect today, well, you chat seen it first. I mean, we all seen it right here. It could very well be a rain race, which would be exciting in its own right. I apologize about the pause. We're just checking all our platforms here. We're live on 4 different platforms here today. We are live on the GT45 Gaming Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch channels, of course, and we are live on the GTRC YouTube channel as well. So wherever it is that you want to view from, hopefully we've got your viewing pleasure there. Brandon coming in with that share and the heart on stream as well. Good luck today, my dude. Alright. So we're just doing a quick check. I do apologize about the wait. Apparently I can't do 2 things at one time. But hey, I'm actually doing about 6 things at one time in reality. But that's alright. Alright. So we're going to be qualifying in about a minute's time. Oh, looks like quali has started. Alright. Let's get those off of there. Let's get all that great information up on the screen. Alright, so after a lobby reset, you can see that the track conditions are quite favorable right now. But as we've seen, that doesn't mean anything here in Austria. The weather can change quite quickly, so I'm sure that is going to be playing in the back of every driver's mind here. So we are on with Doug Barrow right now, and he's on an official hot lap here. So around turn 1 here with Doug Barrow. Let's jump on board here in this Lexus as he is driving that Lexus, of course. Hey Shane, how you doing, my guy? Yo, let's go racing. You know it, brother. You know it. All right, so Doug Barrow here, and this is technically turn 2 right here on Red Bull Ring. This tiny little kink right here. And then that takes us into turn 3. And this is an interesting corner. It's an uphill with a little of a bit of an undulation right at the apex, so you can see Doug gets a pretty good exit through there. And then we're going to move over to the right-hand side. We're getting set up for turns 4 and 5 at this point. So turn 4 is just taking us over to the left here just a tiny little bit. And then that takes us into turn 5. And this is a pretty hard right-hander. You got to drop her way down, look for rotation, and try to get on the power as early as you can. Use every square millimeter of the racetrack available to you. Now, Red Bull Ring loves to hand out penalties, so the drivers do need to be aware of that. From there, that takes us into turns 6, 7, and 8 here, which is these S's. And this is all about just maintaining speed and keeping the car nice and tight on the apexes like we're seeing Doug do here. Take it out nice and wide, clip this apex, roll the car gently across the racetrack. Obviously, you want to minimize the time that you're turning your wheel, because that relates to time loss. Just at about 75 meters, we're down into 4th or 3rd gear, rotate through. Try not to go too wide there. That is a penalty spot here at Red Bull Ring, and same as this corner here, cut as much curve as you can there. And exit time. So let's see what Doug's got here as he comes around for his first lap, and it's a great lap. It's a 37.326 from Doug on that first run around here. Schnauzer's going to come through. It's going to be a 39. We've got Pigham's coming through. It's a 37.1, so Pigham's going to jump on pole. Miss Devious is going to jump into 3rd place. We got Type R staying in 5th. We got Trone jumping up into 5th. We've got Type R sitting in 7th. Now we've got Puzzlement coming through here in that Porsche Cayman. Looks like she's going to stay in 7th for the time being. There we go. Type R is just coming through here right now. No. Brad's coming through. He's going to jump up into 9th place. Happy Pappy's going to go down into 10th in front of him here. We got Bar 27 coming through here right now in P11. Let's see what he's got as he comes around. He's going to jump up into 4th place at a 38.1. Hair Razor's going to jump up into 4th place, knocking Bar down into 5th. Let's see what Bull Snipe has. He is our Pro-Am Divisional Championship points leader here right now. And as he's coming around the final couple corners here at Red Bull, let's see what he can put down for his first official time, and really using all that exit there, so he knows exactly where those limits are here as he comes around in that Lexus. And let's see what Bull Snipes got down. It is a 37. It's going to be good enough for P3 from Bull Snipe. So Apex Racing is Jakey coming around here in that McLaren now. Let's see what he's got as he comes around the final couple corners here. And he hasn't put in an official lap. He just got into the lobby just as qualifying started here. So jumping from Nations Cup most likely straight into the GTRC race here today. Whew. There's some fast times being put down. He is purple as he's coming in through these S's here right now by almost 2/10. So maybe the first driver. Oh, Doug puts in a 36.9 last time around there to even better his pole position time for the time being. But Jakey is looking to say something about that here as he's coming around the final couple corners of Red Bull Ring as well. So what are we going to expect to see here today? We're going to expect to see about a 38 to 40 lap race, depending on the pace of the drivers, of course. So let's see what Jakey's got here as he comes around for the first time, and then we'll go just take a look and see what everybody's doing. This is here currently right now on the racetrack as well. Lots happening here as well. Lots happening here in qualifying already. Shane coming in with that like and that share on the stream as well. Much love. We do appreciate you. Welcome in everybody on all the other platforms as well. If you're just tuning in for the first time or you're new to the page on that particular platform, if you wouldn't mind doing us a favor, just hit that like and share. It's free to do. It just helps us grow. And if you enjoy the racing action and the commentary and the content here, do us a favor, hit that follow or that subscription and turn on all those live notifications for us, and you'll always be notified when we are live with great racing action here from any of the communities that we work with. Doug Burr with a 36.866 as he comes around. So let's see if Pigham's can improve. He's got a little bit of slipstream here from actually. So in his Rockefeller Racing debut here, he is looking to start off on a pole position, but we'll see if Doug can answer back. Hair Razor's now sitting up in 3rd place here in that Mustang as well. Bull Snipe here in Lexus in 5th. We've got Miss Devious here in a Toyota 86, our other Rockefeller Racing driver in the series here as well. We've got Ash Motorsport in the NSX here in 7th. We got Bar 27 in the Sylvia. Martin here in 10th place. Happy Pappy in the McGain Trophy in 11th. We've got Puzzlement in the Porsche Cayman in 12th place. We've got Brad's in the Dodge Viper in 13th place. And kudos to Brad's. This is a car that is way underdriven, so he is going to take the beast out here around Red Bull Ring and see what he can do with it today. I love that. And we got Trone Kobe here in that BMW as well. So welcome back, Trone. It's been a couple of races since we've seen Trone here. Jakey's now sitting on pole position with a 36.497. So, oh boy, it is a battle for pole position here today. And all that's telling me is we are in for a race here at Red Bull Ring today. Now, penalties are going to be ultimately crucial here. The drivers are really going to have to keep it right and tight around this racetrack. Now, tire wear isn't terrible here around Red Bull Ring today. With the settings that we see, we got Jakey just getting out of the way. Piggums there, I think he made a little bit of a mistake there, so he's just allowing these drivers on a lap to get around without losing any time. So you got Piggums coming rocking and rolling here, and we also got Trone stepping out of the way here as well as Piggums comes around. So a couple of drivers bottling up their laps and being super respectful here and giving all the other competitors plenty of room to continue their hot laps. So that's what we love to see, and that's what it's all about. So here we go. Let's see what Piggums has got here. See if he can take that pole position away from Jake here. It doesn't look like it. He's on an outlap potentially there, or he made a mistake. I'm not sure. We got Doug. Let's see what Doug's doing here. Doug is getting to the point now where we're going to start seeing another lap. He is currently 0.3 of a second off pole position, almost 3.5 tenths. Bar 27 has now moved himself up into 4th place. Ash is up into 5th. We've got Miss Devious in 6th. We've got Hare in 7th. We've got Bo in 8th. We've got Action Jackson in 9th. We've got Type R in 10th. We got Brad's in 11th. Pappy in 12th. Puzzlement in 13th. And Trone in 14th. So, ooh, he got us a race. Pole sitter is Jakey as he is purple coming through that sector. But let's jump on with Doug Barrow here as he's coming up in through these uphill S's here right now. And that means he's only got a couple more corners to go, and he's going to be coming around that start-finish line. So I believe he's going to have one more lap after this one to try and better his time, and then that'll be it for qualifying. So it's going to be a 7 full lap run here, if I'm not mistaken, which means 6 hot laps and an out lap. So this would be his 5th hot lap here essentially right now, and probably one more time around, and then that'll be it for these drivers. 137.181, so still a P3 and not an improvement there as he was in the 36s. So one more time around for Doug Barrow here, and one more crack at trying to get that pole back. We got Jakey coming inside of Trone here. Let's see if he can improve on his pole time as he comes around the final couple corners here. Piggums right there in 2nd place, just up in front of him here as well. So let's jump to Piggums first, and then we'll jump back into Jakey as soon as Piggums comes across here. So let's see what we can find out. Oh, look, there's a big gaggle of cars coming across start-finish line here. That's not going to be an improvement there for Piggums, but it is an improvement for Jakey, and now he improves it down to a 36.415. Ooh, doggy. These guys are here to race today. Doug has a half-second penalty, which is going to squash that final attempt for him. Miss Devious is going to go blow some donuts there off at the end of turn 1. We've got Hair Razor here, and some of these drivers taking one more crack at it. Miss Devious is going to have some. That's some great donuts right there from Miss Devious. Got Bo Snipe here in 8th place. We've got Snozzer. We've got Type R in 10th. We've got Brad's here in 11th with that beautiful Dodge Viper. Love it. 14th position. Woo! All right, chat. So far, Jakey, our pole sitter, holding strong. But how long that lasts is yet to be determined. Gary coming in with that thumbs up. How you doing, my man? G-Bub up in the house. DMJ Championship driver, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate that support, my guy. How we all doing over there on Twitch and YouTube as well? You know it, Red Bull Ring. You know it, G-Bub. Red Bull Ring. Jakey with a penalty. You see with Piggums with a penalty. Doug had a penalty. Bar does not have a penalty. So let's see if Bar 27 can find some time here. 36.899 coming from Bar 27. Just last time around, so that wasn't a personal best for him. Let's see if he can improve on it. Oh, it was close. It was a 36.9 coming from Bar 27 there, so that is not going to move him up anything here. Jakey, we got Piggums, we got Doug, Bar, Bo coming around. Let's stick with Bo Snipe here as most of the drivers are finishing. We have 2 more to cross the line here, and one of them's just going right now. I'm not sure who that is actually, but we'll keep our eye on that board, see if it moves. And within the top 8, it does not move. So it's Bo Snipe is going to be the only driver here now that might be able to change something up in the top half of the standings. He's on a decent lap here. It's a 37.2, so it's not an improvement. So there it is. This will be our starting grid here at Red Bull Ring for our 1-hour endurance here today. Weather is random, and we have a 2-minute wait period here to get in to everything that's happening. So it's a pretty quick track here. So, well, you can see it, a minute 36 to a minute 40 laps around the track here today. It's going to make for some really quick racing. There's lots of good opportunities for side-by-side racing here as well. So let's just talk. So S1 on the screen there is where corner 1 is. We head down the straightaway at the start of the race when we come into that 90-degree undulating uphill corner. That is the Nicky Lottie curve. From there we go up a very long straightaway around turn 2, which is a little kink. And then up in the top left-hand side of the screen we head into turn 3. Remus, I'm not sure exactly how that's pronounced. And that is an extremely difficult, slow corner. Very hard braking point there. You can use the undulation and the uphill banking a little bit to help slow the car down, which is to an advantage, but it is risk reward on exit. From there, again, we head up a pretty long straightaway run at the top end of the track map, head into S2, and that takes us into turn 4, Shawskold? Not 100% sure. Which is turn 4. From there, that takes us into turn 5, which is just a little sweeping kink, and then that takes us into Roche, turn 6, and that's in the infield sector there now, essentially. From there, that takes us around into Worth Curve, and of course, that is where the infamous Red Bull statue is placed on the racetrack, on the outside of the racetrack there in turn 7 and 8, and that is the final sector of those uphill S's that we see, and we will see lots of battling throughout the day here today. That takes us into sector 3 and corner 9 at the right-hand side of the track map, right? And then from there, that takes us around into the red 7 or turn number 10, Red Bull Mobile, and right back down to the start-finish line. So just a quick little fast racetrack here. One hard braking zone for the most part in this track. The rest of it is really just chilling and grooving and just hitting your marks. So dirty air is going to play a factor here today, obviously, with these GT4 cars. And when you're sitting in behind other drivers, you are going to have to consider that, especially heading into turns 1 and 3. All right, well, unfortunately, that means the banner comes up. I know, folks, but fair play. We do believe in fair play. We do know that the drivers listen as a broadcaster to keep the pertinent information from being easily seen. We will show it to the viewers at 1 or 2 points throughout the race, and just not really make too much notation about it, and then we'll get racing. So the drivers are lined up. So I mean, what else can we say? But kick them tires, light them fires. Let's go racing, folks. And we're just waiting for the race control to start the timing here. So you can see all the headlights flash. I guess Jakey on pole, Pickham's in second place. We're green, and we got a bad start from Happy Pappy in the back, and Brad's in that Viper in the back. You can see his puzzlement there in the Porsche getting a good run there. So there we go, 2 and 3 wide heading into turn 1, and it's going to be Jakey and Pick'em side by side as we head around that corner, and we got a race on our hands, but Jakey is going to hold the whole shot here through the first corner. Pick'em's going to settle in and behind him in second place. We got Bo Snipe and Doug, the pair of Lexuses here, trying to split the Supra here, and he's going to pick a line there, so he's going to go up in front of Bo Snipe, and Doug is going to go up the inside turning into turn 3 here. Can he get the position is the bigger question. Side by side is Piggums and Doug Barrow, and 2 by 2 as we come through the field, and Piggums just holding out here so far on that Lexus in that Supra, but this is allowing our leader Jake to quickly run away very early on and get a little bit of breathing space as quickly as he can here. So great action here in the first lap from our GTRC racing community, and Jakey with the lead, Piggums in second, Doug in third. Bar 27 making a move on Bo Snipe. He's going to grab P4 from Bo Snipe right there with a very quick, decisive move. Bo Snipe is going to settle back into 5th, but into the S's here. And Hair Razor on that outside line, but as I said, this is a great side-by-side racing track. We're going to see a lot of this today, and Hair Razor is going to hold the position off for the time being. Miss Devious settles down into 7th place, but a half-second track limit penalty there is going to see her drop down the field very quickly here, and we'll stick on with her here. She comes into that penalty serving zone. She pulls off that racing line. You can see Ash Motorsports going to get the spot. Now, she is in a defensive position here coming into the next corner. A little bit of contact there between her and Type R, but that's all right. Type R gets a little wiggle coming out of exit there. Miss Devious is going to grab the spot back. A little bit of contact there from Action Jackson and Type R, and boy, oh boy, we got some elbows out racing happening here today. And Miss Devious is going to hold down the spot, but now we're coming up the first Long run here, and as Pigham's now in the race lead here as he's found his way around Apex Jakey. So Jakey here in second place gets a little bit wide out of turn one. You might see that half-second penalty come up there on Jakey's car. That's going to be Doug Burrow here in third place. We got Bar 27 in fourth, with both Snipes still settled in fifth here. Hair Razor catching up in sixth, tiny little gap. Leaves Ash Motorsport in that NSX here in seventh place, and Misdevious in eighth place behind. Action Jackson chasing in that Aston Martin as we head into turn three here. And this is a nice tidy lineup, own points within their own divisions, but they are all racing one giant race together. So a little multi-class racing happening here in a sense from the GTRC this weekend as well. Happy Pappy here in 11th place. We got Tyrone Kobe in that BMW up into 12th. We got Puzzlement here into 13th place. And Brad's in that Dodge Viper here in 14th position. Whew, all right, that was starting to sort that race out. So it's going to be Pigham's here as he heads into the S's on lap 2 in the lead of this race. He's got Jakey chasing in the McLaren in behind. We got Doug Barrow there in the Lexus. Now Jakey has a penalty here, and unfortunately for him, that is going to be one position lost right there to Doug. Now he knows he's got Bar 27 coming in hot on the outside here, but he does have the inside line. Now he does have the rear, and that just so happens to take him into the defensive position for the next corner, and it is a right to defend that corner. So it was a great job there by Jakey to not lose an extra position there to Bar 27 as well, as he settles back into third place now in behind Doug Barrow. Fifth place is still Bo Snipe, and he's starting to see a little bit of pressure here from Hair Razor in behind as pace around the track goes. Is this Mustang? It's got lots of top end, it's got lots of torque in this car, but that could be a benefit coming out of these corner exits. He's going to have to be real careful, especially as these tires start to wear down, getting around turn 3, turn 1, coming around the final 9th and 10th corner here to get to the start-finish line, for example, and that's just to start with. So Hair Razor here looking real good. You can see just everybody taking it nice and easy. We got Jakey there taking a look up the inside of Doug Burrow there in second place, but Doug Burrow getting the job done, defending it quite well. So Jakey's still going to settle there in third place, and now Bar 27 putting some pressure on him there up there as well. So Hair Razor's got a front row seat to the show right now from second to fifth place here, and just doing his thing right now, chilling, moving down seconds to that pack up in front of her. And she does have Ash Motorsport in striking distance in the slipstream in behind her, and then a little bit of a gap to that Aston Martin, and of course the Hyundai Genesis of Type R up in behind. So far the drivers have kept it pretty tidy. Let's see here. We got Jakey in third. We got Bar 27 here in fourth, and Jakey might allow for some of these drivers to catch back up. Ash Motorsport here in eighth place with that NSX, and just sitting there in the slipstream right now of that Toyota in front of her, and good for fuel saving as well. Just chilling, having a good time there. And great exit there by Ash Motorsport coming out of turn 1 there as well. Snozzer here, Action Jackson in 9th place. We've got Type R here in 10th place. He's in that Genesis. He's just a little bit off. We got Tyrone Kobe there in 11th. We got Puzzlement here in 12th. We got Brad's in 13th. Unfortunate for him with that half-second penalty. We got Happy Pappy in 14th. So not a huge amount of separation there. There's drivers all there that can still have a good battle for position here, and it's very early in the race. We're only 5 minutes up in the house. Yo, you know that the banner says Spa, right? It does say Spa. You're right. You're right, Paymay. You're right. Good catch, my guy. Well, we're at Red Bull Ring, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't notice. Wow. All right. Well, we are not at Spa, ladies and gentlemen. We are at Red Bull Ring, so that's a good call out there by our boy Paymay. We appreciate you, my guy. You can't see the game? Yeah, what's going on there? Dude, I'm not sure what's going on there. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I see it. Alright, we're on board with Pigham's here as he's still leading the race. Just I apologize here, we're having a technical difficulty on one of the channels here. I don't know what I can do about it. Well, we may have to end the stream on the GTRC YouTube channel and upload it after here. I do apologize if that's the case. Let me know if the GT45 Gaming YouTube is doing the same thing. Yeah. we are going to end the stream on the GTRC YouTube. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Just head over to at GT45 Gaming for those that are viewing in the GTRC YouTube, and check to see if it's working over there. I do apologize. We'll upload this back up to the GTRC channel. I do apologize.